it's hot out. Ronan is already acting like he's not. So we're not going to be able to work outside. So we're going to go and work inside Tractor Supply. Before we go in there, I just wanted to add a little bit of a reflection on working in inside spaces versus outside spaces. I feel like you guys are already aware of this just from our sessions together, but when we're working with dogs that might have reactivity issues, especially because of fear, the distance that you're able to create in between your dog and the thing that is eliciting that strong emotional reaction is very important. You want to try your best to keep your dog below threshold as much as possible. When you're working inside, your space is limited. When you're outside, you have so much more space to work with, right? So when you're inside, it can be a lot more difficult to try and keep your dog sub-threshold because you're within four walls. You don't have the luxury of being able to move around and move away. So whenever I'm working a dog inside of a store, I always try and be very cognizant of traffic flow, the perimeter of the store, and then the entrance and exit. I want to be able to position myself in an area first that doesn't have a lot of traffic flow. That way I can really kind of control the exposure of the dog to the trigger. And then I want to be aware of the perimeter of the store so that if I need to, I can get my dog into a corner with myself in front of the dog so that I know that nobody's going to be able to come at us. And then I'm also aware of the entrance and exit so that I can make sure that if I feel like a dog is going over threshold and needs a break, I can exit the store really fast and bring the dog down before I swing back in the store and work him again. I'm not going to use treats just because of the whole hives thing, and he already ate dinner and he's hot, so the food drive's probably down. So all I'm going to do is work with him just on natural rewards, which I think are more powerful. So the punishment is something that he naturally gets, right? Whenever a person comes towards him or there's a novel stimulus that scares him, that's inherently a punisher, right? It's a negative thing for him. When a person continues to come closer to Ronan and closes the space between him and them, that is very punishing, okay? The reward is the opposite. The reward for him is naturally going to be a person creating space, or better yet, the dog creating space. And that's what we're going to try and train him to do, is say, hey, you have the freedom to move away from this person if you don't want to come and interact, right? And through that kind of learning, we hope that the dog can become empowered to be a little bit more confident, to be a little bit more interested and curious to a person and go to greet them, kind of like how they did my parents, or how he did to my parents the other day, right? So that's the goal for today. And we're going to work him for 30 minutes and just see how he does. If it's too much for him, I'm just going to pack him up and work him for 15 minutes outside in a shady spot. But I feel like based off what I've seen from him, he'll be able to be okay in the store. I'm just gonna work him on the slip lead that I have. It's exactly like the slip lead that you have, except the diameter of this is thinner and it can fit in my hands better. Okay? Alright, let me turn my car off, get my shoes on, and we're gonna make our way inside. You'll be great. Now wait for your dog. Ronan, I'm gonna keep you safe, okay? I'm gonna advocate for you and try and make sure that you're comfortable, okay?